I put out my price targets yesterday on Twitter for 23, 24, 25, and 26. And for 23, it was $400. I know I've gone up from 300 to 400 on that if you've been following me. It was 700 for 24. It was 1,000 for 25 and 5,000 for 26. But I did put in the caveat that you have to have both Robotaxi and Optimus being a thing in 2026 for the 5,000 to take effect. Well, I was a little confused because I got a lot of, pushback on my $5,000 number for 2026, although a few people were pretty thrilled saying that they'd be rich. But the people that were clapping back were saying, gee whiz, Randy, that seems crazy. But if Optimus and Robotaxi are both happening in 2026, how can it not be 5,000? I'm a little bit confused. Anyway, if you missed my 2026 episode, you might want to check it out right here. I'll try to remember the card. Maybe I'll forget. Anyway, this is Randy Kirk. If you like my morning show, please hit the like button. If you have not subscribed yet, how come? If you haven't bought a book yet, how come? If you want to be notified, my 2024 spreadsheet will be out tomorrow, not today. I know I said tomorrow, but I had to kick Larry Goldberg off yesterday because of breaking news. So Larry Goldberg will be later this afternoon. You don't want to miss that show either. So hit notify. Yeah. And then let's get it. Oh, and then you Patreon. I got to start. I'm going to start announcing those names. I got to remember to do that maybe later today, maybe in my evening show this evening, where I talk about my midweek hot takes, what's going on as of the middle of the week. Anyway, Fed Chairman Powell, as expected, is trying to jaw down inflation by threatening more interest rate hikes. He says, yes, the Fed, we the Fed pretty much, the majority of the people on the board were saying, no, we're going to have to raise interest rates more this year. And we still have a long way to go on inflation. And he has lost at this point whatever credibility he still had, and it wasn't much. He got some cred by virtue of his talk 2 weeks ago today, when he said, hey, maybe it's getting there. And everybody was kind of like, oh, that sounds better. Maybe he's getting it. But no, apparently he doesn't get it, or he thinks that jawboning it is going to make something happen. You know what I feel. If you've been watching the show, you know how I feel. I think that the president of the United States and some other people can jawbone some things. They can get out there, use the bully pulpit to promote some certain direction, or get people energized, or deal with issues on a national level. They can really use the bully pulpit. And I think that the last couple of presidents, some of the more recent presidents have done that, and some have not. We'll get into that another day, or maybe we won't. Anyway, I can tell you right now, it's obvious that business owners and consumers have already adjusted to the current inflation rate. The current interest rates, which are normal. These are normal interest rates. Over time, the current mortgage rates, the current interest rates on cars, et cetera, are normal. And people have already adjusted, and they've already made their decisions, and will continue to make their decisions based on current interest rates, not on the promise of interest rates coming down, because that isn't, I don't think, where the average consumer or business owner is right now. And an increase of 25 or 50 basis points is not going to cause people to change a lot of behavior, maybe not any behavior. They would have to raise interest rates by another full point or 2 points in order to really destroy the market right now. The economy is strong because people know inflation is over. It's like so obvious. I'm not going to go through the stuff again. You can see my previous episodes where I've shown in great detail, or you can watch an episode that's coming up, I think, on Thursday or Friday with Rene, where we just show once again from a completely different angle how inflation is over. Anyway, the bond market this morning, yes, it's up a little bit this morning, but it's still within the same trading range. So the bond market doesn't believe Powell either. It is not reflecting, the numbers that he is suggesting. The current 10-year is still at 3.8 roughly. That does not suggest inflation at 4 points. Believe me, if inflation was really at 4 points, the 10-year would be much higher than 3.8. Anyway, I don't know. I don't expect the Fed to raise anymore. They might go crazy and do it again. It's I don't know what to say. So anyway, but the market says, shut up, Chairman Powell. Otherwise, we're going to go down. So the market is down today. Pretty much my entire app is in red. You probably have the same app. Anyway, it's all red this morning, except for, of course, Tesla, which is modestly up this morning to 276, or up $2 as I'm writing this. And I'll take one more look before I end the episode, just to give you one quick update. Anyway, the hot news from yesterday, so much news, so much great news for Tesla yesterday. Number one, Nevada is offering a $175,000 incentive for semi-truck purchases. That news was broken by Lars Strandritter of Best in Tesla, who was also a co-author of the Elon Musk mission. You want to read the book. Anyway, and then Rivian and BTC Power added their names to the list of those who are going to be using NACS standards. The CEO for BTC said, by including the NACS connector to our chargers, we can eliminate the need for unreliable and unpredictable adapters that are being utilized by drivers using our equipment. Whoa, oh my gosh. I mean, we know that the stats say that these chargers are unreliable and unpredictable, but here is BTC Power saying, our stuff doesn't work and we need the NACS standard in order to get some good stuff on our property. Anyway, Hyundai has joined Stellantis in saying it is thinking about NACS standards. Hyundai has some issues with 800 volt versus 400. I don't understand all this stuff. But anyway, they're waiting for Elon to get back to them to say whether the NACS chargers can handle the Hyundai cars. So here's the one that nobody's reporting on. The U.S. National Renewable Energy Laboratory, NREL, N-R-E-L, says that compared to 2022, the national laboratory suggests that BESS costs will fall 47%. The BESS, those are your large industrial size battery storage installations. Now that's they have a range, 16% to 47%, that the cost of the batteries going into these big installations will drop between 16 and 47%, with their middle case being 32% by 2030. This, of course, goes totally along with everything that I've been saying. Tony Seba says, Kathy Wood says, even Elon Musk, I think, says, is that, these battery prices will continue to go down. BEV costs will continue to go down. We will see lower costs for all things that are requiring these kind of batteries. So this is good news. But you have to take this into consideration when you're doing your spreadsheet out for the rest of the decade, in terms of how that will impact total revenues and total profits for Tesla. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, the revenues will just continue to go like this, when in fact the costs will be going down, which is going to put pressure on the selling price. And when the selling price comes down, average selling price comes down, that means you got to make more units just to stay even with your revenue numbers. And so that's going to affect the bottom line profit. Anyway, just to let you know, the NREL folks are now agreeing that battery prices are headed down. Happy days. Some new semi-trucks, some newly built semi-trucks were spotted, being built with actual license plates on them. I'm sad that the project has been delayed until late 2024. But I'm glad to see that there is at least some production coming out, because I think there's been no production for a few months. Anyway, that will keep our eyeball on that one. Texas has joined the NACS story. They have headlined yesterday that they will require NACS chargers in all of their stations that they are supporting in the state of Texas. I would assume that more states will follow this. China. This is good news for Tesla, and maybe part of the reason it's up this morning. China has extended their new energy, what they call new energy car incentives. These were expected to expire at the end of this year, and those have now been extended another 4 years. So that's good for all the new energy car makers in China in particular, and for us, of course, Tesla. Cars.com has noted that once again, Tesla has the top 4 cars in the entire world in terms of their North American percentage of manufacturers. So in other words, the total number of dollars of raw materials and labor going into the car, Tesla is number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is the crazy part of it. They have the only 4 cars out of the top 15 that are from an American-based manufacturer. So the rest of the top 15 are made up by German and Japanese manufacturers, winning the spots for most American cars. There you go. Well, here you, Dan Levy this morning, Barclay Bank, saying he's decided to take his price target for Tesla from 220 to 260. That's good news, right? Oh, wait a minute. But Tesla's at 276 this morning. So that means he had to downgrade and makes Tesla a hold rather than a buy. So his estimated profit for 2024 is $5. Well, so that has a lot to do with his thinking that the price target is 260. Spoiler alert, tomorrow when I put out my 2024 number, it's going to be larger than that. My profit estimate for 2024 is going to be double his price estimate. So therefore, that tells you why my price target is 400 for this year and 700 for next year. Anyway, my 400 does require, in order for me to get to that 400 number, there has to be execution on 4 things: unit sales, margins, Cybertruck, and factories under construction. Okay, unit sales have to be somewhere close to the numbers I'm projecting. That would be the 2 million one for the year. So if it only hits 2 million this year, I'll be a little under 400. Maybe we only get to 370. Margins have to be around 2.1, 2.2%, somewhere in that range. If we stay at 2%, no, we won't hit 400 this year. Cybertruck has to come out and it has to get good reviews. And then we have to build some factories. We have to stop talking about building factories and actually shovel some dirt up in Reno, over in Shanghai, and especially in Mexico. Let's get going on the construction. There's very good reason to think that the current run right now is getting a little pricey. Tesla going from 100 to 275 in whatever that's been, 8 or 9 months. I didn't look that up, so I'm not 100% sure. But even going from 165 to 275 in this very short period of time, and almost straight up, people. I can understand why there's people out there saying, it's time to take some profits. And I had one guy yesterday says, well, I'm thinking about selling all my stock right now. And I just said, well, look, if you're really feeling that way and the pressure is really on that you've got to sell, well, sell part, sell half, keep the other half, take a little bit off. That's a very standard approach. By the way, I'm not an investment advisor. This is not investment advice, but it's just, that's a method I've used over the years, is don't take it all off. If you still have conviction in the company, take part off. Now you might think, hey, I can buy back in, 20 points lower, 30 points lower. Well, good luck with that. All right. So I think that the risk versus reward right now is unparalleled in history. And so therefore, I'm not taking anything off. Tesla's vertical liftoff yesterday. So are we going to 300 right now? Are we going to hit 300 this week? That's what everybody's wanting to know. Will we hit 300? Well, we will puncture 300 and go back to 400, which is a way more realistic valuation. And I think the valuation right now should be 1,200, by the way. I think right now, that's what people should be paying for Tesla. Of course, that's based on a conviction that there will be a robotaxi and that there will be an Optimus, and that will happen by someday. I think by 2026, well, actually, I think by a lot sooner than that, but I'm saying that 2026, I did a poll and the community thinks 50-50 exactly split, almost exact split, that will happen. Both of those things will happen by 2026. So anyway, I'm sorry, I can see 100 billion minimum profit in 2026. You discount that to today, that would be $1,200. But let's just stick with my current actual thinking about what the market's going to do, and that would be 400, as I mentioned just a minute ago, later this year, if we do hit those 4 elements that I just mentioned. Can we keep going straight up? Well, I did last night. If you want to take a look at my show last night, my episode last night, I put up a 5-year chart and showed how twice before Tesla has just gone straight up. I mean, with almost no dips along the way. I mean, gone up 100 points, gone up 200 points with almost no dips. So yes, we can just keep going up. We can keep going up. We can blow past 300 and just keep going to 350. I think we can't get past 350 without those 4 things. Okay, that's me. So, but there's unrelenting interest in getting to 300, and do the retail investors have enough money left out there to get there? Well, I'm not sure. What I can tell you is, however, as I close this show, you might want to go check it out. Tesla is down 6 right now, joining the rest of the market as the market continues down. NASDAQ down 104. So Tesla has finally decided it has to join the crowd in terms of being down this morning, down $6 to 268. I will report back later this afternoon and let you know how the day ended and what I thought. This is Randy Kirk. It's been great talking to you.